Thanks for joining me for a very different type of video. I've been invited to take part in the Industrial Design 7 Question Challenge, so I'm going to attempt to answer some questions about myself, and I thought I might do a bit of design sketching at the same time. It's exciting to have been invited to join a very impressive group of designers with YouTube channels, and if you check out the description box below you'll find links to their videos and you'll see how they've answered the same questions. And if you stick around, you'll see me falling out of an aeroplane at 13,000 feet, wearing a big plastic bag, and flying from a field with a motorbike engine strapped to my back. So I've been sent 7 questions to answer, so here goes. Question 1. Industrial design is a fairly uncommon field. How did you discover it? I always enjoyed studying art and design and physics at school, but I don't think I realised that these subjects had such a close relationship with each other until I found myself at university studying industrial design. So you might wonder how I ended up studying a subject I knew so little about. I think I was lucky when I was at school that a couple of my teachers recognised characteristics in me that were suited to this field. From an early age, I'd say I was acutely aware of the objects around me. I can remember often being puzzled by how products came to be. I'd look at a chair or a table and wonder how tubular steel had come into existence. I understood that these things had been created by people, but I had no idea how, and that used to bother me when I was young. When I started to make sense of the products around me, my creative side began to develop. As I became aware of the various things that went into designing and creating products, I developed a desire to be one of the people making these things happen and bringing products to life. Question 2. How do you explain your job to those who don't know about industrial design? Well, much of my time spent teaching product and industrial design. If I was called upon to explain this field to someone with no preconceived ideas about it, I would say that we're bringing our imaginations to life. We're setting out to resolve people's problems, make their lives easier, and we're attempting to improve the world we share. I'd go on and say that anyone just getting into the industry should understand that it's a privilege to be a designer. We're creating things that go into people's homes and enhance their lives, and with that comes the responsibility to design in such a way that we limit our impact upon our environment. An item we design to enhance the life of one person shouldn't be at the expense of another. Question 3. What has inspired your industrial design style? This is a difficult one. I would say I'm being influenced all the time. It might be the work of others inspiring me. It might be something that I see in the natural world. It could be things completely unrelated to the design world, and things that find their way into my subconscious. Things I don't necessarily even notice, but things that influence the way I think. I suppose if I have to narrow it down, and perhaps focus upon the things that I do notice, I would say that I'm particularly drawn to high technology products. Things made with a striking level of accuracy, fine tolerances, and often some sort of technical element. I like things that have been manufactured in quantity, yet at the same time manage to give a sense of being individually crafted or even handmade. Products that feel special to own, maybe because of the material they're made from or the manufacturing processes that have been used. I think there's much to be said for products which give the user reassurance and confidence, perhaps because of their build quality or function. I'm attracted to products that are simple and economical in their design and in the materials they use, and I tend to avoid products which feel over-engineered, over-involved or needlessly complex. I'm a fan of gadgets, but only where they serve a genuine purpose. I prefer products which simplify the user experience, rather than adding layers of complexity. Question 4. Which company would you love to design a product for? So here's the part where I fall out of an aeroplane wearing a plastic bag. I've mentioned already the types of products that influence my design style. The high quality, highly technical and precision made products that resolve our problems or enable us to do things that we couldn't contemplate doing otherwise. I'm a fan of extreme sports. This is me falling out of an aeroplane wearing a black plastic bag. Well, okay, I'm not exactly falling out, more stepping out. And the plastic bag is actually a highly technical nylon suit that inflates, rather like a Berk camping mattress, to form a wing that I can fly in close proximity to others. I'm also a big fan of photography and video making, and I love to get that shot that nobody else can. Action cameras have become very popular over recent years as technology has enabled miniaturization, and high-definition video and photographic equipment has now become small enough to wear. So which company would I love to design a product for? The answer would be any of the companies at the forefront of the action camera and drone industry. I have this idea that just as miniaturization has impacted upon camera technology, we could be miniaturizing all the related camera equipment, essentially enabling the user to take a film crew with them wherever they go, allowing them to capture some incredible footage without all the hard work and time and effort and money normally associated with this. Here I'm skiing between the trees and filming the fun with a product I've designed and made to enable me to get some unusual shots. It's a very lightweight device that I've made from carbon fibre, and it connects to an aluminium chassis that I've built into a tiny rucksack. The device breaks down into small parts which fit neatly into a small section of the rucksack when not in use. It can be used in a variety of configurations to get different shots. It can point backwards to film where I've been, forwards to see where I'm going, and circle my head to put me at the centre of a rotating shot. Here I'm flying my paramotor in Spain, and I'm using products that I've taken from the drawing board to manufacture to mix with drone footage to make a more immersive experience for the viewer. Question 5. What is your go-to industrial design program and why? I'm a big fan of SolidWorks. Having the ability to build something in 3D on a screen in front of you is priceless. The fact that you can send this 3D item to a printer, where your idea can become a solid object in front of your eyes, or perhaps more incredibly, to a printer in a studio the other side of the world, is invaluable. We can have these ideas in our minds, and in next to no time be holding them as prototypes in our hands. And probably more importantly, put them in the hands of our client for comprehensive feedback during the designing process and ahead of expensive mistakes being made. We can also use this process to ensure there are no problems with tool making, saving the designer and client valuable time and significant money. And I love the fact that we can take SolidWorks with us on a laptop wherever we go, making it just as accessible as a sketchbook and pen. We don't even need to be working for a big corporation to get our hands on printing equipment. It's all pretty accessible and closing the gap between the home enthusiast and the industrial designer, so we need to keep on our toes. Question 6. What do you dislike most about industrial design? This is a difficult one. Designers tend to work on solutions to things they don't like, so I normally problem solve to avoid the things that bug me. I guess if I was being pushed to find an aspect of designing that can sometimes be a negative, and I'm struggling as it can be a positive too, it's that it can be hard to bring the designing process to a close. As designers, we keep developing and improving our thoughts and ideas continuously, and the process of iterative designing can keep on going as our design work continues to evolve. When I'm working on a design, I have to be quite disciplined about bringing the process to a close at some point, otherwise there's potential for it to continue indefinitely. I don't think it's possible to develop a product to a stage where it can't be further improved. So at some point, and particularly when we have a client chasing us for our work, we have to conclude our efforts and bring things to a close. Sometimes there may just not be the budget to develop a product as far as we'd like. When a project draws to an end, most designers would be able to indicate where they would have gone next with it and how they would have further developed their work. The client can often be content with the product before the designer considers it to have reached its conclusion. Question 7. What makes an industrial design good? Product designers and industrial designers really have an opportunity for improving the world. In my opinion, industrial design or product design that's good is good because it's done something to help somehow. We can get carried away designing new products which can in many instances be extremely clever and often driven by the latest advances in technology. But I would always ask myself if the designer was improving the world in some small way, or were there hidden costs that may be difficult to see. Designing is always a compromise, but if our work is driven by consumer need, and our products are making someone's day a little easier, without having a negative impact, even a tiny one, then we're producing good industrial design. That brings me to the end of the questions. I've enjoyed the fact that they've forced me to think hard, and I hope my answers encourage you to consider what your responses would be. Remember to check out the links below to hear how an impressive gathering of YouTubing designers respond to the same questions. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notifications tab to be the first to hear of my next videos, and check out what's going on behind the scenes at Product Designer Maker on Instagram. You'll see more of my extreme sports there too. And head over to my website www.productdesignermaker.com for downloadable resources. Thanks for watching.